a lot of negative talk about Springfield, Ohio, where I, Adam Banks, serve as pastor at First Baptist Church. A lot of negative talk recently, especially as it relates to Haitian immigration. We done heard the foul discourse, the foul accusations, the absolutely denigrating descriptions of our Haitian neighbors. And come on, like, no. And there have been many who have expressed vitriolic and violent sentiments right now, as these quote unquote scare quotes others have come into this country and are, taking our jobs, taking government assistance away from other hardworking citizens. And it's a lot of hatred, a lot of, disagreement is an understatement, just a lot of anger and negativity that weighs on you, can weigh on you. When we see somebody as opposition, as our enemy, when we absolutely denigrate, demonize somebody else, when I think something that might be helpful for us to remember, and when I say us, I'm talking about everybody to remember, is this parable. Talked about this earlier at a very positive press conference with clergy in Springfield. Very positive about Haitian immigration. Talking about the Samaritan situation that Springfield finds itself in right now. The Samaritan situation, if I just quickly check this out. From Luke 10, starting at 33. We know this story from that person that came from the ghetto of Galilee, that homiletician, that minister, that teacher, that preacher. Check it out. This is what that prophet, the man of God, said. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, took him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 silver coins, gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I'll reimburse you for any extra expense you may have. Which one of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? The expert in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise. Blessing, blessing, blessing of the reading of this sacred text. So check it out. What do we know about the folks that Jesus was addressing and the folk the person that is identified as a Samaritan? Well, the people that Jesus is talking to, these experts in the law and whatnot, they absolutely despise the Samaritans. The Samaritans are seen as completely backward culturally. They are backward religiously, theologically. They don't act right. They can't get right. They are absolutely inferior and have no place, no rightful place, no rightful belonging among the people that Jesus is talking to. And in this parable, as Jesus takes time to teach those who are trying to challenge his authority, and well, who is my neighbor is what the person asks. The greatest commandments: love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. This is all it takes to inherit, to enter into the eternal rule and reign of God, however we might imagine heaven, however we might imagine beloved community, we might say, this is all that it takes to love God and love your neighbor. And the dude was like, who is my neighbor? And Jesus tells this parable about somebody who's like the people that Jesus is addressing. They're walking, they're traveling down this road, and they get jacked, robbed, left for dead, literally in the gutter on the side of the road. All of a sudden, a priest comes by, somebody who's like the folks that Jesus is talking to, somebody who's respected among them, comes walking by, and somehow the hurt person remains in their disinherited condition. Then, after this, another respected person among the group of people that Jesus is in having this engagement with, another person comes by, high standing, yet as they pass by, this person remains in their disinherited condition. Then a Samaritan attacks. A Samaritan comes by, and a Samaritan is the absolute opposite of what's right. The Samaritan is everything that is wrong with the world today, everything that threatens normalcy. They don't eat the right stuff. They don't drive according to the right rules of the road, spoken, unspoken, de jure, de facto. They don't listen to the right music. They don't speak the right language. They don't understand an idea of religion, God. They are completely backwards to this group that Jesus is addressing. The Samaritan, absolutely despise the Samaritans. However, it's the Samaritan that comes along and helps out the one who is like the ones that Jesus is addressing, the ones who despise the Samaritan. The Samaritan comes and helps out somebody who's just like them. Picks them up, puts them on his own donkey, cares for them as he can, takes them to an inn, care for them, and pays for the innkeeper to care for him as the innkeeper can, and promises to come back, to go in debt on behalf of the person that he's helping, to go in debt, and will come back and repay everything to make sure that this person is okay. And at the end, Jesus says, now who is it that's the neighbor? Like, then flipped it back on him a little bit, on this person that's trying to get Jesus to stumble and fumble, trying to get Jesus caught up. Jesus says, who was the neighbor among the one who had mercy, the one who had compassion, the one who provided assistance? So many messages in this parable, so many morals of the story, but one that I find to be incredibly relevant to Springfield, Ohio, as we find ourselves in the midst of a Samaritan situation, is that for those that Jesus is engaging with to understand that it is the very ones that they despise, through whom their own redemption, their own right now earthly salvation, a salvation that has eternal consequence, but is happening right now. Their own well-being, the well-being of the community, the well-being of who they are, it is interwoven, inextricably linked to the presence, the well-being, the generosity of this person that they despise. The very figure, the very subject, the one they've tried to objectify, that one is the one who holds power of salvation, of redemption, of survival. The one that is despised holds that power. Right now, make no mistake about it, right now Springfield is in a Samaritan situation, as many have spoken loud and proud, identifying the Samaritan in association with the Haitian community. Haitians are the despised among way too many in our community. Not everybody, There's plenty of folks that are helping out, that are welcoming, that are celebrating, that are encouraging and engaging in mutual aid, mutual beneficence. It's plenty that are doing that, and also, as we know from the national discourse, the news, political discourse, rhetoric of this week, that there are those who have identified the Haitian community as Samaritan, as other, as backward, as wrong, as a threat, as unevolved, and all of this disparaging characterization. However, if we read through, if we understand what it is that this prophet straight out of Nazareth is talking about, it's the Samaritan, it's the one who is disparaged, the one who is most despised, who holds the power of salvation, of redemption, of survival, of well-being for the very ones who have marked them as backwards, as vile, and all of that. How it's the it's them, it's the ones who've been othered, who hold the power of salvation and well-being. Who is our neighbor right now? Who are our Samaritans? Everybody in Springfield has not designated the Haitian community as Samaritans, but I think still many have identified somebody as a Samaritan. Many have identified somebody as their enemy. Many have identified somebody as the opposition, as somebody who is holding everybody back, as somebody who is threatening progress, as somebody who who can go to wherever they can go just as long as it ain't here. Many have marked somebody as a Samaritan, whether it's somebody who is positioned in a certain political orientation, whether it's somebody who works a certain job, somebody who is occupying a certain role, we done marked a whole lot of people as Samaritans, and the implications of what this parable is saying is that it's the very ones that we despise, with whom the power of our own salvation resides. That holds a lot of potential for positivity here in Springfield. And if we watching this, if we engaging with this somewhere else, it holds a whole lot of positive potential. The gospel, good news, it holds a potential for some tremendous good news. That, hold on, there is a path, there is a means, there is a way towards salvation, and actually I have already identified who it is. I've already identified, I already know who it is. I'm already understanding who it is that I need to go engage with, who my well-being is inextricably linked with. So let me go, hold on. Let's figure out, how can we communicate? We might speak different languages right now, but how can we figure out a way to communicate? Because actually both of our well-being is interlinked. It's connected. Hold on. How can we figure out, you have these gifts and skills, you have this background, you were a nurse, you're a nurse, you're a doctor. Hold on, you're a lawyer. Hold on, you got marketing expertise. Hold on, we looking for I would benefit. We can benefit. Oh, hold on, let's do this. Wait. Now you say you were fixing what dish with rice and beans? You doing what? with tilapia. Hold on. I like seafood. Hold on. The beef and let's let's go ahead and get in the kitchen together. Let's do something together. Because while I'm busy disparaging you and doing my best to disgrace you, it's me that's hurting. It's me that's hurting. It's the Samaritan who comes and helps. It's the Samaritan who comes and brings gifts. It's the Samaritan who comes and brings healing. It's the Samaritan who comes and brings good news. For Springfield, in many ways, resembling a situation of being left on the side of the road and ailing as the population of this city has been decreasing for decades, for there to be a presence to come along and have this ability to bring aid, to bring healing, to bring gifts and strength and restoration. My goodness, that's some positive potential, positive transformation, right? That's some good news. Good news. If we can just take a second with the one who is the Samaritan, with that worker, with that leader, with that neighbor, that person that's behind us, in front of us in the checkout line, we take a moment to take a moment with them, recognizing we're blessed if we recognize, if we take a moment to say, oh, we bless each other. We bless our salvation. This is time for salvation. If we would let it be so. And that salvation looks like, how do I inherit the kingdom? How do I inherit heaven? How do I enter into beloved community? How do I enter into the rule and reign of God? How do I enter into paradise? That is what's at stake. When we take a moment to recognize my salvation is caught up with the one that I didn't already identified. Let it be so.